Time now for the OTR Roundtable. You know the faces, but let me introduce them. Joining us this morning, Democratic political analyst Marianne Marsh, Republican political analyst Rob Gray. Just out of curiosity, the congressman sitting in the chair. Rob, thoughts? What jumped out at you?
Well, it's not getting any more bipartisan in Congress, is it?
No.
I mean, he was all over the Republicans. The Republicans are all over the Democrats. That's why Congress is historically unpopular and probably going to stay that way.
Marianne?
Well, rightfully so. He's dealing with crazy down there. I mean, that's pretty clear. He's actually on the show talking about serious things like making sure kids get school lunches or 2 meals so they can actually learn. And then you listen to Marjorie Taylor Greene talking about an elementary school in Illinois getting $5.1 billion for a program that doesn't even get taught. I mean,
a lot of crazy in the Democratic caucus, too, no question. I will admit there are some Republican crazies, but also on your side.
Well, there's a groundbreaking admission. There we go. Very good.
The Mass GOP has decided to move past its chair, Jim Lyons. Last week, Amy Carnevale was elected chair of the party, ending the controversial 4-year tenure of Lyons. Does she have the tools to rebuild, Rob?
We'll see. I mean, it's a good change, hopefully. I think Republicans are, looking up and trying to be positive. The real question is, can she raise the money? I mean, to be an effective party, you have to raise money and have a staff who can go out, recruit the candidates, run the campaigns. Republicans are scraping bottom. Does she get the confidence of GOP donors? There aren't that many to come back in now that Jim Lyons is gone. That's the test.
Marianne, is it the dawn of a new day for the Mass GOP?
No. I mean, she's a Trump supporter. Trump Republicans aren't going to win in Massachusetts now, next year, or forever, as far as I'm concerned. She's a kinder, gentler version of Jim Lyons, right? I mean, she looks better, she sounds better, she'll be more, a little more tame and all that. But selling MAGA Trump policies and politicians in Massachusetts is not a winning formula.
Next item is Marty Walsh. Let's talk about the labor secretary. He's been in the news in the last week. Is he thinking about changing his job? The National Hockey League has hit its all-star break, and there are rumors that the former mayor of Boston is in line to become the next executive director of the National Hockey League Players Association. If that does happen, his paycheck would go from roughly $221,000 to roughly in the $3.5 million ballpark. It's a nice bump up. But is this the direction he really wants to go in, Marianne?
Well, I would say that the Baker-Walsh bromance continues, okay? They both left politics to go to sports and get a multi-million-dollar paycheck in the process. So if I apply the same test to Marty Walsh that I applied to Charlie Baker, there's politics on the other end of this. They're both taking
politics on the other
end of it because he's making a ton of money. He's going back to his labor roots, which is where he made his name in union politics.
Right.
And oh, by the way, if you look at where all the NHL franchises are, because I know you know where they are, a lot of them are in swing states like Nevada, Colorado, Michigan, and stuff like that. So you can see the wheels turning here.
Rob, what do you think?
I mean, if I'm Marty Walsh and I have this opportunity, I'm going to multiply my paycheck by a factor of 15. Why wouldn't you do it? And Marianne's right. These are his roots. He negotiates labor deals. It's a great fit for him.
Well, he worked on the baseball contract to get the labor settlement resolved, when he was secretary. So
and how many high-paying, multi-million-dollar labor jobs are there in pro sports? Not too many. Sure, I think Marty Walsh might run again, pad the bank account, maybe come back to Massachusetts and run for something.
Just to be clear, the baseball event wasn't a strike. It was a lockout. But
Right. But I mean, he knows there's also no election for him in 2024. Right. If you're looking to be on a national ticket, it's Biden and Kamala Harris.
Right.
There's governor's seat is occupied here by a Democrat, and the mayor's seat occupied by a Democrat.
And the Senate seats are occupied by Democrats.
On that, is it a signal that Biden's not running? Because Marty Walsh was rumored to be going into the White House.
As chief of staff.
Now he's going outside. Does that mean Biden ultimately is not going to run?
I actually think it's the opposite, so he can make more money because he knows he doesn't have a race right now.
Well, I guess we'll see. Senators Elizabeth Warren and Ed Markey, along with Congressman Bill Keating, they sent a joint letter to MassDOT last week pressing for the need for quick action on getting the Cape Cod bridges replaced. The letter directly called out the Baker administration for dropping the ball with the feds. Marianne, was this a cheap shot or face-saving?
Facts are stubborn things. I mean, the fact is the Baker administration swung at it twice and failed on the design and on the funding. So Now you have to get both right, because how do you get money for something you don't know what it is? Number one. Number two, good for Warren, Keating, and Markey to hold themselves accountable too. Put pressure on the state, pressure on themselves to get this done. But let me tell you, in 3 weeks, the Sagamore Bridge is only going to have 2 lanes, one on, one off, until May. And people are going to be, who drive it? That might be me. Unhappy.
But they didn't hold themselves accountable. They came out and said, oh, we blame Charlie Baker now that Charlie Baker's not around to defend himself. It's purely a smokescreen to try and deflect from their failure. And remember, these are federal funds. Who are our federal officials? Oh, it's them, not Charlie Baker.
But Mass DOT took the lead on the design and on the project. They're the ones who are on the lead. So plenty of blame everywhere, but Charlie Baker is responsible.